put out right now.
Call the meeting to order. First, you can get a roll call.
Sure. John,
Here.
Brian,
Here.
Justin.
Here.
And I'm sorry. Lexi and Jeff are not here, and Russ. Sorry. I'm just gonna say not here.
All right. October 14th, council meeting. Right there you go. Put resolutions out there. Mercy said they're all on the policy.
Yeah, so there's-
Down below.
Correct. So these are just resolutions to approve the policies that are actually on the work session agenda under policy review. And then second readings on a couple of ordinances and then the session. Scheduled from last time, but the actual policies you'll see here on today's agenda. Last item, those are all the policies that we're proposing and put on the next agenda for approval or we can push them out if we need.
Some of them are like 2 pages, some are a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I'd really rather not push them out. I'd rather get them pushed through.
Yeah, some of them are just simple, like the debt policy is a new policy and the internal controls policy is. Those are both have been reviewed by our auditor already because there were things that they got brought up in an audit. And then the other ones are just kind of more just updating terminology.
Pre-existing policies.
Yeah, exactly. Terminology, like updating some of the credit card policies as far as credit limits and who has cards, because the old one had people who haven't worked here for 10 years on it. So just kind of updating it.
Can we separate them if after we discuss them, we decide that some?
I would like to know that before.
Yeah. well,
Yeah,
we can
oh,
talk about
absolutely.
it, Right.
Yeah, each one has its own resolution.
Well, then this is what's out for next week's meeting. So if you want to talk
Oh, I
about it,
understand.
yeah.
Right. Oh, you got it. No, I know, yeah. Just, it's working hard to try to get through them all.
Yeah, so those are just what's on the next agenda. So not a lot aside from those, the second readings on ordinances and then the closed session on the 28th.
And that will just be a continuation of readings.
Third readings, yeah.
Yep.
I think there were maybe 1 or 2 items you added to the 14th
Yeah.
since then.
They're on, I mean, for discussion tonight, they're all loaded.
They're in G on the bottom.
Oh, they're all loaded for discussion tonight.
Sorry.
I mean, I'll have any questions about some of them when we get there, but.
Okay.
I have no-
Anything else on the 14th meeting? The 8th meeting?
Typically, the second meeting of the month, there's really not that much out. It's the continuation of the readings.
That'll
And
potentially
adoption.
be the third reading of the water and sewer.
That is correct.
ordinance.
The third reading and adoption.
And also the meadowscaping.
Yes.
Is that third for middle state?
Or head discussions? Katie, want to start?
Sure.
Since you have all this fun stuff?
Yeah. Well, a couple things, about the October 14th meeting. Do we need to add that 15,000 for the floor? I know I got approval from council, but to make it official and that.
I think we will. I like to have it documented by resolution. I just think it's a good policy and procedure to adhere to.
Okay, perfect. And then we haven't gotten to the pavilion yet, but do we need that to be on there as well to get approval to move forward?
Yeah. Again, I think it's just really a good policy to have those
Okay, I just wanted
documentation.
to-
Typically, if we add anything that we discussed at the work session, then I add the next day.
I mean, as far as, obviously I can get you the scrubber, all other things, PCC, everything's kind of going well downstairs. We've started some tournaments, so kind of easing in, which have been good so far. They've been smaller tournaments, so. And yeah, that's the main thing, as I told you guys, I was gonna eventually bring the scrubber to you guys to potentially get approval for it. I know we can't do that in today's meeting. and Jeff had emailed me earlier today, you guys all got my email back with the questions or answering this question. But I guess I want to see if you guys have any additional questions about that or thoughts or feedback regarding the possibility of moving forward with the scrubber.
Good.
Or the scrubber, I don't, I mean,
I
So
mean, I think
I
I'd
wanna-
rather pay for it than finance it. Right.
right,
Maybe you said this in your answer, I'm scanning it quick, but do we know what the useful life of the scrubber is?
So I asked, I was very.
Hmm.
I was really trying to get an answer to that question. The reality is you don't know, right? Like whatever. They said minimum 10, like scrubbers that are out there. If we didn't get 10, they would be shocked.
Okay,
we took about warranties on this.
If you go to the 3 down, I have attached the warranty because I knew that
That's
question was
just-
coming.
Yeah, sorry.
We are the third one down, the XR or X4 Rover, so 10 years, months, 12 months. So it varies, the battery doesn't say on their battery is 5 years.
Stacy, how long will it take it to clean the floor?
So each one's different, and so they think the gym will be about 2 hours-ish is that. Until we actually go, it's longer than that, I mean, so this isn't like solve all, like, we'll still have work involved with stuff around the scrubber. Scrubber can go around whatever, but obviously more pick up the more clear path that has to be able to clean everything. It depends who's doing it. That sounds weird, but like agility of who's doing it takes longer than. Let's say Tide, doesn't take as long as. I'll say.
Just say me.
John.
Yeah, me.
Say me.
So,
So how long would it take an employee, just one employee to do floor? Without the scrubber, if they had to clean it themselves?
3 to 3.5. I would say, the problem is. That employee, right? Like, I think that's what this all comes down to, like, I have ROI to give you that, whatever, but the reality is, I don't have a staff person to do it consistently. So to do it once a month, okay, maybe we can squeeze that, but to do it when it should be done and do it justice, you don't have.
What is your rough calculation of return on investment? I wanted to take the.
So yeah, so I roughly, it was like a 4-year return on investment, but
Okay.
it was more indirect impacts than it was direct. Again, I don't have like the employee to do how many hours we
Right.
run this bad boy. So they're kind of, I don't wanna say make believe hours, but sort of, just 'cause I don't have it. So I had like the direct, like the employee cost, I had around 12,000 a year to do what we wanted. And then I also did like an indirect as far as, just word of mouth, like cleanliness of PCC versus the cleanliness of BCC. Sounds weird, but there's a lot of people that talk about it, I'd say it's one of the most popular conversations we have in our board meetings. Is people, to board members just saying, like, you have an amazing facility. And we have made progress, we have made good progress in certain
Leaps and
areas. As far as like the weight room and stuff, and the track so far has been good, but work is only a matter of time, that we just can't.
It's a lot of
with the
area.
staff that we have, yeah,
It is
it's a lot of square footage.
And the reality was, even if we didn't have employees. Contract labor to do it, and
Oh,
that's why that would work
yeah.
faster.
What services is it capable?
Any flat, so I took them to the track, so what we were thinking was the gym, obviously the courts themselves, the area around the hallways, upstairs and downstairs, the track. And then also the dance floor and the food area in the banquet room as well. So those were the main areas, yeah, the kitchen will be a little harder, it could do like outskirts of the bathrooms and stuff, it would be a short path, obviously it can't go in.
It does not use street steam.
It does not.
I know, he's going.
It does not use-
I was just, like, did the rubber.
It was capable of doing like laminate up here.
So yeah, so the weight room, same thing, we talked about it, we could theoretically go through like the main areas, so there's like the walking areas, but to go close to the.
Can't go,
would
yeah.
be better.
So that'll all, those pieces will all still be done
Correct.
manually.
Correct.
So is it wet scrubber only or vacuum as well?
It's just wet scrubber. There are machines out there that are combo, but the more people I talk to, the more they said, the more compost.
It's useful.
Yeah, like they aren't as good. They don't last as long and they don't get stuff.
Designed for everything.
Yeah.
Works into it. Nope. Just remind me, we did or we didn't budget for this?
Yeah, so in my over guesstimation of how much the flooring would be, like
Right.
100,000. We're still drastically under that, so I.
With the
just would- it
flooring
would be
plus
with
this.
And so, and that still isn't coming from any taxable money,
Those
it's
from reserves.
so,
Okay.
yes, it's not spending. It's spending money from the city.
Right, but that's what we accrued for.
Correct.
Okay.
The only other thing I do wanna point out, 'cause I'm assuming if it's not asked tonight, it'll be asked on Tuesday, is, did I do, checks with other companies, and I 100% have called many companies and met with them and got. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say this is the cheapest, if it's not, but it's the one I feel the most comfortable in. One of the ones I did was, what brand called? Like SoftBank, I wanna say, theirs is. It's 5 year. 62, but that one has a monthly charge in addition to that, so every year, or every month you have to pay it was hundreds of dollars a month. So by the time that added up, that one also made me nervous with some of the things regarding. It was actually smarter, so it could fill up itself, empty itself. But the more I heard from people, they said the more they get neglected, because then they never clean anything else, and then the other company that I actually met with here, came here, was Nilfisk. It's kind of tenant Nilfisk is the number 1 and 2 for the ton of the scrubbers. Also a little, I didn't get like a formal quote from them. But the verbal quote he got from me is right around 55,000. He has not gotten me another one after months of discussion. And when I talked to another salesperson, they said this Nilfisk is coming from over yonder, and they're waiting to push tariffs affect their price, and so they haven't given up prices to confirm because they don't know how much it's going to raise. And if I have to worry about that for months trying to get the price, it just makes me not feel great about moving forward, and then we just use how fast are they.
I know I asked you this before, the lead time on this?
Yeah, so when I talked to them, when they came out. He said like 2 weeks, it was nothing crazy. I think it wasn't, the product is in stock. What takes I think the longest is to work with. Right, day one, and programs all the areas we're gonna use for it, so we have all the mapping done, so for us, it's just.
First of all,
Yeah.
like they're made domestically, either here or in Canada. Huh?
Correct. So, after I got your guys' approval, Mike said that they sent our current flooring for the 3,000 square footage for our portion. They picked it up Monday. They told me once they take it up, it's usually a 10-day, whatever, to get that flooring back. At which point they were going to hope. But again, that's just gonna be the backcourt and see kind of how it goes and then go. Even new flooring, old flooring will still start using it.
I appreciate the work you put into it, Stacy.
Mhm.
I'll start off with, one of the main things that we get, complaint driven is obviously hydrant flushing time. A lot of calls on, discolored water and such. That is something we are currently doing. We started last week in the industrial area just because it wasn't necessarily posted. Want to give, people time to get familiar with it. So we are making our way in the residential areas, this week. Probably for the next 3 weeks. the benefit that I did find out today was I had rural Iowa Water come up and do some testing on our water. And we are way below on iron. We are way below on manganese. So the complaints that we do get is basically just for stale water that is sitting in these isolated areas, possibly dead end on a water main line or something of such. So when it does get stirred up, that's basically the complaints that's what's driving the complaints that we do get. But one of the concerns that everybody always has is the water safe to drink and such, but yes, it is, considering our iron level is very low and our manganese level is very low, which is always a major concern. So yeah, that was helpful information that we gathered today, and it kind of coincidental at the time that he called and said that he could come and test for this, was obviously when we're flushing hydrants, when the complaints are coming in. So I will follow up with Shandi on a daily basis when we are doing flushing so that I can let her know and she can post it on Facebook to determine the areas that we're going to be in. Trying to do the best that we can. Obviously, if something comes up, we don't make it to the area, whatever, it might push it back a day or whatever it may be. But like I say, I will try to stay in contact with Shandi and so that she can put notice out there, hopefully a day in advance. One of the other things, I had a gentleman, Leanne Schneider's a topic that's been ongoing, the beaver dams, willows and such. His conversation, his concerns were, as we heard from the conservation office in the past, we're getting rid of the beaver and the benefits of them. So the mitigation of flooding is helpful with the beaver, having them around. And obviously, you know, they're a native rodent, you know, they want them to stay in the area. They're very helpful. If there are, you know, major concerns on flooding or such, there are a few items out there that can improve and mitigate the flooding of areas. But from what he's seen on an aerial, there's really no concern in the area that we have that they're focused on. Therefore, in his perspective, they're nothing but a huge benefit to us. So to follow up on the concerns that we have on the beaver, the willows over there, and such, you know, as I said in the past, if we want to get rid of them in a simple way, in a less costly way, I think the best way to do it would be to get rid of the willows and let them leave on their own. So that's, you know, something we can ponder on, have further discussions on if needed. But yeah, it's pretty much the same story, same answers you get. Anybody would reach out to, they're giving the same answers, you know, the benefits of having them.
But those willows are creating a block between.
Correct, they are acting as a lumber. Yep. Like I say, something we can ponder on and talk about.
Did you say that he said the beavers were helpful?
Yeah, absolutely, because they build the dams and it helps flooding downstream.
But upstream.
So like he's saying,
But upstream it doesn't.
Concern was flooding.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, in that area,
The pool.
in that area, he has absolutely no concern
Because
with
of that
flooding
room to go.
because of, yeah, I mean,
Wide area.
it would never flood or impact any of the houses or any of the commercial areas because of the fact it would go over Cox Springs before it would actually flood any of those residential areas or commercial areas.
Makes sense.
So,
And we've kind of talked to the meadowscaping folks about putting some trees out there, and they've got some really good contacts for replanting
Yeah, I thought
trees.
they were talking about putting up big row of tall trees
For
for.
alternative trees to the
Right.
willows.
yeah,
Or is it
well,
the
it's definitely
beavers
something we
actually?
consider, but on the same token, if we consider do some of the such and the beaver is still there, it's not gonna act as a benefit because they're probably gonna take them down.
They're just doing their job, Dean.
Right, no, absolutely, I understand, I mean, it's been a topic in past, council meetings, you know, the concerns of some residents. Nuisance or whatever, so just something I wanted to follow up with. Other than that, we had, basically had, some sewer jetting and cleaning taking place up in Oak Park, up in the north end of town. Typically, we'll get a few complaints about, blowback in their toilets or whatever, just some air pockets that are created, but this time everything went smoothly. Don't know if they did something differently or smoothly on that, so yeah. Try to keep on up on the maintenance. But I'll have.
Thank you, Dee. Ordinance amending titles.
Can I go real quick?
You can go.
Okay, thanks. I'll keep it short and sweet.
Parking amendment is,
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but I just wanted to bring up, with the many things I send you guys with reports, I'm gonna add a apartments log. And that basically, when you get that, I do that every quarter. So you get the quarterly, what the calls are for all apartments, not just one. We're not speculating on one, we're giving you all of them. So you know where the major calls are coming from an apartment. So when you see that, and just take a look at it. If you guys have any questions, just ask me on, what's it, next Tuesday?
Those reports are
volume
actually on the
type.
draft already. You
Yeah,
can look at
volume
that.
type, yeah, how many, volume, yeah. Yep. And then the other thing I was just gonna bring up, we got our new Axon body cameras.
Nice.
So, yep, we just had the
Smile.
cars, and it's not on right now. Sorry.
wide angle.
Yeah, it's not on right now. But yeah, it's installed in our fleets, in our cars right now and, working good, and we're just trying to get familiar. So that's a good, just a good piece of equipment that we have now, so for sure, yeah, it's great. So the other thing I had was the parking and ordinance that is just coming up. The only thing different on this, the parking ordinance that we're gonna talk about is the city parking lot or city park. For the purpose of, basically selling vehicles for sales. We've had some inquiries and we've had people wanting to sell their vehicles and parking their vehicles in the city parking lot, up above lot. And whether we want them or not, I don't think it's a good practice to start. What I do feel is I added city park because I just feel we're gonna have that nice pavilion over there, and then we're gonna possibly, if you allow this to happen, there's gonna be cars for sale along the grass there.
Right.
Because if you don't have an ordinance. So I feel that it's important to put that language in this. I caught that because we really didn't have anything in our code of ordinances saying that they couldn't do that. So I think it's fairly important to put that in, whether you want it or not. And my belief is that we want it. Thoughts?
Nope, I'm good with it.
Okay.
My comment would make it plural, city parking lots and city parks.
Yes.
At some point we'll have more than one. We have the fire. Few others. So it reads that way.
Lots, sure.
Yeah, lots
Yep.
and parks.
And parks.
Okay, so
plural.
we'll go ahead and get a resolution to set a public hearing for the.
The only other question I have for you, chief, on this is, said, for exemptions.
Yeah.
City issued temporary parking permission by you or the city administrator.
Yeah.
Do you want to include, whoever's the supervisor in charge at the time? And there are times that you're not here and that might not be here. I don't know how those things generally work.
Normally, they would come to
Ahead
me.
of time.
Yeah, normally they would call me or whatever. And yeah, we can.
So then you're okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I
I just
really
wanted to
do.
make sure you
They,
had flexibility you needed.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of flexibility there, whether I'm here or not, and
Just got
my guys.
the mayor or.
Yeah, my guys call me all the time regardless, so it's all good.
That's all you do.
Yeah, they're gonna call, yeah. So, nope, I think we're good on that. Good.
We're always within reach.
Yes.
So my question on that ordinance, Mike, of parking, will that include the parking stalls?
By the church?
Yep.
Yes, it should. That's
It's a city law.
And yeah, it's a city lot technically, yes. And that would clear that up. I thought we took care of this a couple of years ago, but apparently we didn't. I thought that was in something else, but.
I know we had a conversation on it.
Yeah, we've had a
This was
conversation.
Too long ago that there's a big park there.
Yeah, I don't remember when it was, but I know we had conversations. It was a long time ago, yeah. So, yeah, this kind of
Let's go down
clears
to
it
that
up.
parking lot is perceived to be the church's park.
It is perceived to be the church's part.
So I think that's where we're probably gonna get more confusion,
Yes.
cause okay, I don't think they're parking in a side parking
Well,
lot.
we could broaden it, so it just, lots gets confusing because it could be designated. Because we could end up with something down on Thunder Valley, Thunder Valley
We could.
Drive and stuff too at some point
Yes.
on our property and then just make it.
Yes.
Have to look at it. Perfect, all inclusive. Good.
Ordinance is amending Title IX nuisances, to define the undeveloped lots and mowing requirements.
If you remember, we had a conversation regarding this and Dean and Justin did a great job putting some language there. So this is just incorporating that language into the ordinance.
I think it's good. My only comment is on the way little letter D is written. The third line, it says with moving of at least bi-monthly, I think it means mowing. And then there's just some punctuation issues in the third to last line. It's like not reading clean. Easy to fix.
Third to last
Some
line.
would say 30 feet along any adjoining neighbors to city. Mowing of at least bi-monthly for the remainder of. Lot
Moving, it says current.
instead of moving. And then the next sentence, an undeveloped lot in the subdivision will no longer be considered. One sentence. Or should be. Instead of having the punctuation there, you know me.
One other town I did reach out to was Asbury, and I asked them how they proceeded with their ordinances on grass mowing. What they had mentioned on a residential developed area, they considered an unsold lot still the developers. That way they don't necessarily enforce it as far as the heights of the grass. Until the lot is sold, then it has to be maintained to whatever the ordinance reads for height restrictions.
So then, in this case, we'd have infrastructure there, but that wouldn't be a sold lot.
That's the way,
Exempt from this analysis.
that's the way they said they rule their residential lots. Because of the initial cost of what the developer already has put into the development, they try to make it, respectable for the developer as well. And same way with commercial development, they told me that. For the first 2 years, they don't enforce it at all necessarily, unless it gets to be a weed patch or something of that sort. But then they just ask them maybe twice a year to mow it or whatever, and they said, the developers in town. So, I don't know, just a second opinion, but food for thought. I actually asked one of the council members, and I did ask the public works director too over there.
Should try to be developer friendly, just like, what does that mean if 3/4 of the subdivision has infrastructure but isn't sold? Do we care? This is the question. I think we do.
I would say after 3/4 of the subdivision is developed, I think, yeah, definitely there needs to be concerns. As far as the residents that are living there,
Right.
we have to be respectful on that aspect as well.
So you wanna change that to 75%?
Maybe not even-
No, I was thinking back to. I feel like the way this reads, it's like once infrastructure is there, then we've got 70%. That's fine. Were you guys thinking we count this by square footage or we count it by the number of lots? So if there's 10 lots, when it gets to 7, or
It's easier to
sold
by
lots. By lots, we could clarify that in there. 70% of the subdivision counted by lots or something, so it's. You could have ones with bigger lots and smaller lots and all of a sudden, so.
So just add the word lots, subdivision lots. 70% of the subdivision.
An undeveloped lot in a subdivision will no longer be considered an undeveloped lot once 70% of the subdivision lots are built out.
Built out, or you wanna say sold?
Sold. I'm fine with that if you thought about this a little bit more.
It's not the developer's problem anymore. You're gonna have somebody come in and buy 6 lots and then build them one by one, and he's gonna say, well, they're undeveloped.
But if
there's.
But they
the initial developer sold them.
Sold to a builder,
Sold.
sold to a builder.
Sold.
or a property owner.
They still have to mow
Versus on
the 30
development.
feet,
Mhm.
right? They still have to mow the 30 feet. So.
They would,
So what's the difference between, I mean, at that point, are they mowing 30 feet or just, oh, these lots aren't,
they're not.
they're not huge, these aren't 2 acre,
Right.
3 acre lots.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd be curious to see most of these lots that are out there, how much actually wouldn't be.
Well, how long did that lot on Leslie sit? And still
Yeah.
sitting empty?
No empty, but it's nice and mowed.
And I mean, it would technically be an undeveloped lot. The
Second one in.
Second lot.
It would
It's
be
undeveloped, but it's
It's
sold.
undeveloped, but it's sold.
But it's sold. It's owned by pretty sure. it's
The
owned
one
by
on the corner used to own both those.
Right across the
Part of the
street.
estates, Brent,
Directly across
Leslie.
Yeah, I know,
See that house in the corner,
yeah.
the empty one, the next one's empty,
Oh, okay. On,
on Leslie.
North
Or
side.
no, on.
no,
Brent.
on Brent, right.
It's on Brent.
But I'm just saying that, I mean, 30 feet on basically all sides.
Both sides, now you
That's
got a
pretty
little
much-
tiny hole.
That's pretty much the whole thing. When these lots are, we're
That's
huge
different,
lots.
but I'm saying you have that happen
Right.
a lot.
We could end up with some developments that have bigger at some point in the future, so. It's good to think about it that way.
Yeah, and they basically do the same thing I mentioned in the past, for the first few years.
Some of these.
Basically, you're trying to get some vegetation established so that you don't get all the runoff, all the mud. Such, so they said, basically, the first 2 years, they really don't enforce it at all because they want that vegetation to come to a seed and the regrowth.
Right.
To take place. So,
They can mow a 30-foot perimeter and put a nice pocket prairie right in the middle. Good. Thanks for working on that, you guys. It's a good direction.
Great. Draft ordinance to allow laying hens for discussion. I think we have some people here that want to discuss it.
First of all, I'd like to thank the council for considering this. I have some information here to pass out. I believe Annette kind of came up with this draft. Thank you. A little bit more research, maybe help out. Thank you. Some questions? So I obviously pulled up the proposal for the ordinance from yesterday. It was posted yesterday. One of the first things that I kind of noticed or I guess I have a question about would be under section 2 for the non-refundable permit fee. Whether that's a one-time thing or if that's a renewal thing. Also, I guess the discussion should be, should that be a size-based for your building, your coop building? Should it be based on if you have one hen and you have a smaller coop, is that fee necessary?
I think that fee is based on what we get charged from ECIA.
Yes,
Something like
that's in there right now.
So,
And I saw that and understand it. I guess my question for the city would be, if you're just buying a smaller coop from Amazon, say you have 1 or 2 birds, is that required to have ECIA come out and look at that and charge that fee? And is it every time that you apply for that permit for the renewal? Because I see in there that you have it down as a 2-year permit. If I have a coop that I paid that one-time fee for and built, and I don't make any changes to it, is it necessary for me to pay that fee?
We'd be inspecting it on renewal. So there'd still be a cost for
Right,
inspection.
and we just put this together for discussion purposes.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, this is all good
And that's
feedback to
why
have.
I'm saying, I just, questions on those or point those out. In section 3, I noticed that you have in there that Asbury is 4 hens.
10.
It's depending on the zoning, they have 10 or 6, which I've included that paperwork with the City of Asbury's website on it. Dubuque does not have a number. And that the second set of papers that I gave you, that's the black one, and I showed you how I kind of found that by searching up City of Dubuque Urban Hens policy. So if you guys have the ability or want to, you can see the steps that are necessary to get to that answer. I know it's probably not totally visible in their ordinance, but that is how the City of Dubuque steers you or directs you. And then I guess the other,
So you said how many is Asbury's?
Asbury allows 6, I think, for R1 and R2.
R3, that's right.
And R
Six. Agriculture is 10.
Yeah. We show here that Asbury's only allowed 4.
Yes.
Where'd we get that information from?
I pulled it off of Asbury's website, so I don't know. Yes,
Just a graph.
yeah.
It's fine. That's why I brought this just for some informational purposes and to help out.
It's 4 square feet per bird. It's read it.
Okay. The other questions I guess I have on section 5. I noticed that it says at the very bottom, that hen waste shall not be disposed of in any city waste container or tote. I guess, does that mean like I can't take it to a city park, or does that mean I can't throw it away in the trash? Because the next line says you can't compost it. So where or what should I do to dispose of that would be the question.
Have you, in your research, how have other cities handled it?
I don't have the answer for that, actually.
What do you do currently?
Currently, we usually just put it in a trash bag and throw it away in the trash.
I assume that's what the other cities probably do too.
But I guess I did have some clarification on that as far as city of Piasta waste.
Because it's
container.
toxic or something, or why would they just dispose of it as normal?
Again, I just
Well,
threw this all out
Taylor
there.
goes in
just
normally.
for
And
discussion.
absolutely, and I don't know what the deal is either as far as if there's the possibility or it's okay to even take to the city of Piasta's compost, if that's an option or not too.
No,
That's something to be discussed.
I don't think we'll
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
actually,
Yeah, just for, simple reasons for flu and stuff like that, if there are any other diseases that were ever come about. I think disposal of it in the trash, that way it goes to the landfill, they can properly dispose of it.
I think that's,
I think so.
I know that.
Is there any issues with
I mean.
the landfill would have
Look at
that?
it, but.
No.
And what?
It's not
Those
a waste pile, Jim, it's more of a yard waste, so it's not compost, it's yard waste.
Right.
We
Yeah,
don't.
that's important. That's different.
Yeah, because if it gets all up there, then we pay to dispose of it at the landfill anyway, so. Yeah,
My question was, is there a reason that the landfill wouldn't accept the?
I'm gonna call Kleesner and see what they do.
Yeah,
If I don't think they're gonna catch it when they dump it.
No, I'm just saying.
They might know if it's
You
allowed.
might notice it
Yeah.
at the landfill, and all of a sudden they're gonna ding,
Mhm.
Kleesner or something, and I don't know the answer to that.
I don't.
And
believe
I don't either. I just,
because-
it was just a question when I see you say no disposing of container and I can't compost it. Where does it go?
yeah.
And that's for anybody that may, if this goes through, that may get chickens that you have an answer for. And then just section 8, it says in there, the city reserves the right to inspect permitted properties at any time for compliance. I think maybe just possibly throwing in there, with a written notice or some kind of a notice.
Yeah.
Obviously not just showing up when I'm at work and saying I have a violation. I think as a homeowner, I have that right to know that you're coming or be there or see the violation.
24-hour notice.
So those are things I've looked over and and they're, obviously, I'm sure you guys have your own thoughts and there may be other things further down the road that we have to kind of fine tune, but those are just some things that I kind of noticed and pointed out. So if you guys have any other questions, I will do my best to answer them. Or I'll allow for your discussion.
Say how. Yeah, in the over, yeah.
That's just.
It's proper waste disposal.
It just says proper waste disposal per city.
We could look at the Dubuque's written policy and if it's scoped in.
You guys need
in
more.
their waste.
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing this.
I like it being allowed in R1, 2, 3, like we discussed before, not the A.
I know,
So like the way that's written.
last time there was some confusion on what particular communities do allow them or don't allow them? Have we gotten anything straightened out?
Those were the two cities that were in question, Asbury and Dubuque.
They do.
I mean, I know we said that Epworth it do.
I didn't look into it any further. I just decided to go ahead and start drafting the
So we
ordinance
don't know
for
what the other
consideration.
communities do.
If you don't mind,
Sure.
can help answer that for you. I do not have copies of everything for everyone. However, you can city of Epworth, Iowa. This is their urban chicken permit, which is the only thing that they do have. So they do allow them, they do have a permit if you guys,
That was Epworth?
yes. You guys want to look at that?
Theirs allows them also.
Actually, Dyersville, I do not believe does.
You don't think so?
I don't think they do that.
Okay.
How about Farley?
I don't think Farley does either as well.
And I know Manchester's special permit only.
Pass that around. That's-
Question would be on the R2, R3.
Be careful where you find the
Are you
information.
allowing
That's
them
what
on multi-family,
Apartments, which is
no,
R3.
duplexes, all that stuff?
Sure, if you have the room for them.
I mean, you could probably
Just I'm
just
just
you
with
put them
what
on
we've got,
duplex.
what we've got in town currently, right?
Do you want them there? I guess
I
that's
don't
the other
think
question.
so.
Or do you just say like, Epworth says, is it a single family dwelling?
I think it well,
I think it would have to be for the simple fact of even your feet restrictions. I don't think you're gonna get that in an apartment setting.
Right.
Probably not
But-
duplex,
but duplex.
duplex. Probably could,
I think we wanna keep
but
it
it's
single
on,
family residence.
basically on top.
Right.
I like single
Single
family
family.
dwelling.
One,
That cleans it up.
Only in an R1 then?
well, you could
What's the?
build a single family in R3, right?
I think you just say single
Wow.
family,
I think
if
you
you
just
just say
go
single
single
family, that
family.
cleans it up and there's no question.
The higher numbers are inclusive, right, of the lower, and so everything can be done in R1.
Can be done in R2 and an R1, yeah.
So,
Just say single family residence.
single family resident in any residential zone.
Yeah, I mean, that cleans it up.
In terms of number, I mean, if 4 seems small, I think it almost governs itself in terms of the space requirements around and adjacent properties and things. I don't have a problem with a bigger number as long as it's hard to know how to be, for being arbitrary or what's a reasonable size. Can't commercially sell it.
Right.
I don't know how to determine what. How many urban hens do you have now?
6.
6.
And is that
Normal,
standard, right?
typical?
Yeah, standard, normal, typical?
When you do purchase the birds, most places have a minimum of 2. You have to get, so you have to get them at least
Quantities
pairs.
too.
They won't let you walk out with a single bird, I guess, for camaraderie and so on and so forth, so if that helps with your.
Gotta have a sister.
Ours were actually purchased 3 and 3, so.
Asbury has 6, that's a reasonable thing to pattern after, it doesn't seem overly huge. 10 or 12 or whatever, that starts to get pretty big, and now you're in a commercial operation.
Place to start, and then a year from now or whatever,
Yeah.
you can adjust it from there.
And then let's just look into the disposal of waste, and I mean, if it's safe, I think it should just go into regular waste in a bag and. Like, you know, other animal waste is dogs, cats, I mean, that's what people are doing. It's not left on my yard. Well, you're doing.
Or on the sidewalk.
For the park,
Yeah.
so.
You're okay with the setbacks?
I am.
I actually texted that landfill employee, but I don't know if I'll get an answer back from him for that. Yeah, as Brian just said, I mean, dog waste is
Other
a while.
families going.
cat litter's going, you
Yeah,
know,
letters going. I don't
bird
see where
litter's
it'd be an
going.
issue.
People have parakeets, parrots,
That's what I said,
whatever they got.
It's one of the only options.
In terms of the permit cost thing. It'd be nice, you've heard me say these things before, it'd be nice that we write it so it's whatever it costs us plus an administrative cover fee kind of for the city. I know it's hard for us to project that when we're not exactly sure who's coming to inspect. So this says it has to be submitted with the application, and I don't know if you can do that if we go actual cost plus 10%, you know, within 30 days of the inspection or something like that.
Yeah, that way we have to
Um,
revisit it in
Be-
5 years.
Yeah, then it just, as these costs change, or we bring somebody on staff. Those costs change. We don't have to keep bringing this back and asking if our $100 number is correct. That'd be my thought on that.
What are your thoughts on the renewal of the permit?
Well, I think if we're gonna inspect it, we have to pass the cost for the permit along. So this is written that we'd expect it to be renewable every 2 years to be inspected again. And I don't know why we wouldn't inspect it, right? We're trying to maintain a standard. Maybe we could argue that it's 3 years, you know? And it just,
Timeframes.
the timeframe could be a little bit.
Do any other communities would you expect?
I mean,
The Asbury one right here says that every 2 years.
Yeah.
yeah. So to me, 2 or 3 years is probably a reasonable timeframe.
I believe
And
City of Dubuque's is, I don't think they even require a permit for your coop building unless it exceeds, I think it's 200,
a certain size.
a certain size, 200 feet. Then you have to go through the city building code ordinance, so on and so forth. So they're smaller coops that
Then
are
it's a lot more,
what's that?
then it's a lot more complicated.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying they're smaller coops. They're not, I don't think the city's even raising a finger to it, so.
Right.
2 or 3 years,
I'm good with 2 or 3 years, and I think because it's a new program for us, we gotta inspect, it'll be obvious. You know, to people, this is a way we're saying, well, the city's doing its due diligence to make it's appropriate and maintained. Good fences, good neighbors, all that kind of stuff.
You know, any of these ordinances they're a living document, so they're gonna
Right.
change at some point, so maybe how that goes,
Mhm.
Okay with that.
that'd be a good starting point.
My only other question on section 8, inspection enforcement, says a pre-approval inspection conducted by the building official, and that term building official, is it defined? Who is that? Or
Again,
can
this
we-
is just standard language I threw out
That's
there,
okay, so can we
right.
word it in a way that would work for our city?
So the
who
building
is that?
official would be ECIA.
Okay,
That would be who would be inspecting
so we
it
should say,
for the
by-
actual coop itself, and then Dean would be doing the setbacks.
okay. We don't have a building official and it's a capitalized term, which means it should be defined. So my point is just, can we just say who that is? It's like the inspecting official or the official that conducts the inspection. That'd be broad, regardless of who we do it. I'm not criticizing the draft. I'm just saying.
Oh, no,
let's-
I
Let's
totally
clean it
get it.
up and make it like read for our city. Yeah, well, that was all just parenthetical to give us a thought. I mean, we're gonna have ECI inspected, but at some point we might. We should just make it the official inspector, or whoever conducts the
Building
official
inspector.
inspection kind of thing. So. And do we have a?
Insta 6. Fees to
Cost plus.
cost plus
10% is
10%.
what I have written down.
Inspection every 2 years.
Yeah,
We'll get clarification on the waste.
section 4 should probably say Board of Adjustment versus Board of Appeals. Are we right on that? Variance from setback requirements would go, ours is Board of Adjustment. I'm asking, I think it is, right?
It's actually a board of appeals.
Is it a board? Okay, that's.
No problem.
It was good. Let's make those changes and bring it for a hearing.
So you want it ready by Tuesday?
And then we'd set the public hearing.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, for the 28th, okay.
We can just set the public hearing. Keep it moving along.
I'll send this out on my weekly summary, so that way you guys can please review it before it gets to Monday's.
Attachment.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good.
Anything else on the lane hens?
And I learned what a hen tractor is.
Yes.
What is a hen tractor?
I
Okay,
think we all learned what a hen tractor was.
learned a lot.
All right. After review of drawings for pavilion.
Yes, that's me.
That is you.
Right, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mike with Martin Gardner Architecture. I think I've got most of you, I got a set of requests here. All right, so. Oh, is it not showing yet? There we go. All right, we're just gonna kind of hit the drawings. We're like 99% done, got some. Few little minor things. Essentially, that's kind of what we're looking at in black and white. I have a color one that's, colors are not accurate, but they're closer to what it looks like. First page is basically just informational stuff. Second page, code review stuff. This building has an occupancy of, I believe it's 105 people max. Based on square footage. It's hard to do this with our mouse. Okay. Down here to the, that's just. Okay, so floor plan. Like 95. That's max at 15 square foot you get person.
Or parking areas around the park.
All right, so floor plan wise, as you come in the front of the building here, the south end. Come in off of this side here. And there's a set of double doors, and they're half glass, hollow metal doors. And that allows you to get inside. And that we are looking at, a keyed entry system that has a keypad, Wi-Fi enabled. For that door, and I believe the toilet room door, we have to figure that one out exactly how that works. Because I think the desire is for that to automatically lock at a certain time. And then, so we have, the area that, you know, the utility, the restrooms, that area is gonna be designed to be heated to a minimum level to keep it from freezing, so it does not have to be drained. The only thing the city would need to do, it'd be the water drinking fountain. That is fine, it's a wall base. So we would have to do that, but everything else would be heated enough. The actual space itself, there's full-size garage doors on the left. There's half-height garage doors on the right. And let's see, let me show you what the doors we were thinking. Yep. Basically something like that. That's a Midland garage door, it's a big old garage door. So they'll be manually operated.
So is there any concern about the glass windows?
We beat it to death.
They're everywhere. I mean, you know, everybody's got them. They're tempered. They have to be a tempered glass at a certain, you know, below a certain height. Is there a possibility that they could break? Yeah, but so could
I'm
anything.
thinking more vandalism.
Yeah, so I will say I probably was the biggest critic of it, sitting in the room.
She's shaking his feet.
Okay, so, I guess I don't have to be cautious. I was the biggest critic. I will say that the more and more pavilions I looked at, different places, more and more of them had glass that made me, I think, sway to being more comfortable with it. I think vandalism was our number one thing as well. So yeah, I mean, is there a risk? Yes. We were kind of hoping that the views, the whatever outweighed the risk. And also helping with the see-through, having, you know, PD being able to buy, and being able to see in, as well, kind of hopefully will help deter some of that possibility of cameras.
Are we gonna have cameras?
That's the other thing I was just gonna bring up.
Yes.
That's the plan anyway, they have cameras.
Do we have cameras with it?
Actually,
Oh. I
No,
think we
that
do.
would be oversupplied.
So it would be.
I would very much highly recommend, because with the playground system you have there too,
We didn't.
to get with all that view.
Yeah.
Right, there's a big investment in that playground too. So yes, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, the doors on the right are half height, so they go down to about 3 feet above the floor line. That'll have a lot of ventilation, lets a lot of view, you know, if you're having something in there, it happens to be kind of a miserable day, cold day, and you don't have doors open, you at least can still see.
yeah.
We do have stainless steel countertop along here, and it's just a countertop, no cabinets. And there's outlets there for roasters. One question I do have, Dean, Stacy, and Brian, Justin, there's a 3 compartment sink.
Yes.
That may trigger a grease interceptor.
Ooh,
Don't want to do that.
no,
That would be expensive.
very.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Go
Two.
down to
I mean, I don't know the purpose, the real need for 3. It still has sideboards on it. It looked just like, it's a freestanding stainless steel sink with sideboards. 2 versus 3, I don't know that 3 is needed. But
Yeah, so I would say we would have to figure out something else to set or go up with 2 if we're ever gonna serve food of it. So if we're ever going to have, let's say we have bingo nights out there once, whatever, to get a food permit to be approved to be able to sell. So if we don't have 3, we would need the wash, rinse, sanitize, so we would need a bucket essentially for sanitize. Would be the only reason why
That's a-
people
we
do
sell food?
3 tiered,
Or-
what?
If we ever.
If we would sell food, so if we ever plan on doing special events out there, where we
Which
would
we
somehow
would.
sell food, which is definitely possible.
we could,
Night, whatever.
2-tiered sink and a wash tub.
As long as we can do something that would have the wash, rinse,
Like a laundry
sanitize.
sink.
in the past, I know we've done.
Couldn't we just do?
Yep,
A couple
and
of
ditto.
times.
So in the
Buckets.
concession stand, that's what we have, we only have double, and then we have like a little plastic tub that.
What if you
we
wanted
use
2 cents?
to Sanitize, what?
2 doubles.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think we have room for that.
I'm fine with the 2,
A
and then
double
as long as
sink
we
is then
don't, we have to have.
Well, you could do that too, but it'd have to be a little ways away, probably just enough away. It's still a little tight to do that, but we could probably look at doing that. If the 3, having the 3 sinks is really important, you could look at doing that.
Like I said, I'm doing 2 as long as we know we have to have
You know, you're gonna have to.
a plastic tub.
And we could try it, and if they say, no, you're gonna put an interceptor in, we can say, oh, just put a 2 compartment sink in. We can always change order it out and go back. Granted, there's no cooking here, so,
Yeah.
usually we run into daycares and all that stuff, and they wanna put a 3 compartment sink in, automatic grease interceptor or whatever, so. Thought I'd bring it up. And then the other thing is, I believe, Dean, are we doing concrete back here or not?
Eliminated.
Okay, that's what.
We'll
Jake
still
had
perform
thought.
that at a later date.
Yep. And that works for me. So there's a storage room here that is, just accessible for the event space, for tables and chairs. This storage room space here is available only to the outside. That's an overhead garage door. I think it's an 8x8.
It's for the city.
Or 8x7, and it'll have just a key garage door type lock on it, twist and open. These other ones are only accessible from the inside. It's more of the traditional slide bolt.
So the storage, she said, is a garage door, and that's just for the city?
To the outside for the city, so the big one is city,
And for us to store
And the
stuff, I'm
inside
assuming
is-
that's not gonna be windows.
No,
correct? And the inside's for tables and chairs to serve an event set.
The only access is there.
Are we putting a door between that divider wall in the storage room?
Into the event space.
No, in between the 2 storage rooms.
I hadn't planned on it because that just takes up wall space for storm.
I mean, mostly full of tables and chairs,
And it allows,
just to navigate in.
it's one more.
I didn't know I couldn't tell what that dark black spot was.
Oh, that right there, I think may end up, I have to look at the electrical. They may want to put them in.
Did talk
You
about
laugh, I'm not
TVs.
there.
We had that discussion.
Oh.
Hopefully not the storage, Stacy.
No.
We have
Basically.
a couple outlets up high here, so for TVs, and then there's some empty boxes, so when you decide to put the TVs in and run the cable in, you can run it to the backside into that storage room or this storage room, and easily connect it up, put whatever system you want to use in it. There should be a couple down low to where if it's just USB plug, you can plug your USB cable in or your. Two of them. Yeah, that needs. So we're looking at doing, this happens to be a reflected ceiling plan. It'll show a little more later, but we're looking at doing 1x knotty pine, tongue and groove around for all the soffits. And then the bathroom is FRP panel on the ceiling. So it's easy to clean. And then in the main event space is also got a wood ceiling. Over the two storage rooms, I think it's probably, it's gonna either be drywall or liner panel, metal liner panel. And then, what do we got here? We are doing an alternate. And currently the base bid is 10x10 timber posts to go all the way to the concrete. They're held up a little bit with brackets so that they don't have to rot. We are doing an alternate that has that detail there on every column. So we're gonna go up 2'8" with a precast concrete cap on top of it as kind of a protection thing for if someone hits it and protection from the elements. But that is an add alternate.
So Mike, you said drywall or metal in the storage room.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking,
would prefer not drywall because of the condensation, the moisture
Yeah,
difference. We'd have to go with the bathroom treated stuff. That and it's gonna be more prone, I think.
yeah, I would agree. My first preference is metal liner panel. This is just a rough plan. That's just a blown up version of the bathroom area. And we've got flush valves, wall hung lavs, electric hand dryers. So we don't have paper towels to deal with. Again, then we have the floor sink here, mop sink. This will be for an owner provided fridge. And then the compartment sink. None of this door into this corridor does not lock. I'm thinking it's probably just got a push pull. There's no reason for it to lock. If you're renting that space, you automatically have access to the restrooms. The bathrooms would be the same way. Lovely details. Don't need to go through much of that. Visuals. All right. Exterior elevations. These are just kind of where we're at. This, let me go to right here. Like I said, colors are not accurate. We'll have to pick colors and we can do that either during the bid or we can do it after the bid. A lot of times we do it after. The intent is that up along here, this is part of a clear story. Only available in the event space. We're gonna do polycarbonate translucent panels. They're not 100% clear, but they'll glow, and then there'll be a light that shines up that will cause them to have a nice uniform glow at night. We're gonna do the same thing over the bathrooms. We'll have a hard ceiling with some insulation, which will be hidden, but then we will have polycarbonate that exposes those roof trusses, and those will have a light up in there that allows that to glow also. So at night, you're gonna see this as you drive down the road. You'll be able to look up and you'll see this little building that's got these two glowing areas.
Is there any concern from the neighbors? Is that being lit up?
It's not gonna be bright.
They're a ways away.
I don't have,
Just a question.
let's see.
We talked about it,
This-
we do like a variable lumen, so to not run into that issue, so it's definitely something. to
Like
consider.
this back one, the top one faces Cox Springs.
Yes,
So it's really the front face that'd be viewable to Amara or whatever court that is there. It'd be low lighting, be like somebody's
What
front
type
yard
of
light.
Emergency lighting would we have to have on the gateway? I think the
Like
thought
me,
was,
because
it's,
I know that's gonna be pretty.
I don't think it'll be an issue.
this is kind of what we're doing here, this one, this is a little brighter, but it's got a bunch of exterior light.
Not doing that.
That's down at West Branch, but we won't,
We're not doing exterior.
yeah, that exterior lighting, any lighting we would have is in the soffits of the overhangs. And would be very much just directly down if needed, where needed. But this is kind of to get you the idea of what it'll look like. That's probably, I think it's a little brighter than what I would
Yeah, it's
prefer to
LED,
do.
right?
It looks a little bright there just because of all the exterior lights. But,
And our exterior lighting would be runnable from the inside, like by the people that are renting and using, or is that something that would be on?
that I haven't looked into. I just
Mercury
got,
switch or something?
yeah, I just got electrical drawings from MSA today, so I haven't had a chance to really go through them
Okay.
yet. But there'll have to be a little bit of exterior lighting at night for emergencies.
And it keeps the vandalism down if there's a
It
little
does.
yellow light there.
Yeah, and it'll be soffit based, so it won't shine out. Even if it did, we would cut offs to where it can't shine more than, 20 feet or something.
Nice.
Could they be put on dimmers, Mike?
Dimmers. The ones that shine up.
The glowing
I
lights
mean,
you
if
can-
lighting is a concern,
They potentially could be. They're LED, everything will be LED, so I would assume that it could be dim. Typically it's dim.
I just can't see managed.
I think it's a great idea, because I guess I was gonna ask, is it at its own use, so that if it did become a problem, we could theoretically.
Always calm it down.
I like the demo idea better.
These are just interior elevations. A big,
Visioning, it's gonna be more like glow lighting
Glow,
versus directional lighting.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, there's,
And it's
yes.
quite a ways from the houses.
Right.
And it's more like some of the homes you see with nice sort of ambiance lighting around the outside.
agree.
So this is kind of a section
Every neighborhood.
through the event space. The east side is the road. We do have some auto trusses that come back, and then this is that clear story.
It's gonna be awesome.
This will be a sloped roof all the way down. The overhead garage doors are gonna be high lift, and they'll follow the roof pitch up, so they're not backing your way and you're not really losing the vaulted look. The half height doors, because it is a flat ceiling over there, that'll be a normal. Keep it as high as we can.
Dean, when the parking lot's done, was there gonna be lighting in the parking lot too?
Lots eventually.
Yeah, I think he was going
So
to.
there you go.
Got
They're gonna have that.
Yeah. You're gonna have that regardless. of it.
They're gonna not like that more than.
They won't be as bright as what you're.
No, right, I get that, I got that, yeah.
Close we could.
The rest of this is mainly details. Sections, nothing really too exciting. But.
It's like a street light.
But that's kind of where we're at. Looking to do a pre-bid release next week at your council meeting, approval. Looking for a pre-bid October 28th. And we'll meet on site for that, for contractors. November 4th here would be bid opening at 3 o'clock. And then November 11th would be action on bids. And also the public hearing, because you'll have to do the public hearing. I think I've already got you guys a notice done up, so you'll have to just publish that. And then, start as soon as possible after, depending on weather, and get I'm kind of hoping, be done, June-ish to be done with construction. It's fairly simple, it's just block and some trusses. But it depends, that'll depend a little bit on what the winter turns, because I would hope they would still be able to put foundations in maybe. We can get going right away. So that's kind of where we're at. I am still finalizing the opinion of cost. I don't have MEP numbers, but I think we're around 8 something, I think 850. At this point, and that's got a number in for that, but until I know that number, and I need to kind of fine tune those yet this week, so. We've gone back and forth a lot on this, I think, over the several months on what to do and how to make it look. So. Any questions? Anybody comments? Get rid of the concrete apron. We can leave it as a 3 compartment. If we get in trouble, we'll say, hey, we'll just go back to a 2. And honestly, I'm not sure who would be inspecting plumbing unless the city does, and you guys don't. Cause it'll be going into the city septic anyway. Unless the county would come and inspect, but I don't think they do, so.
CIA come in.
Yeah, we have ACIA. We contract with them, so they'll
Okay.
come in and do the inspections for us.
Okay.
Typically inspect our code, not.
Typically, unless, you know, you have somebody local that does the inspections, unless the city does it, it's not state funded, so there is no need there. That's where we're at. Right. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you for your help on the project.
It's been a while coming, and I get thrown into it, it'll be fun, I can't wait till we can see it going.
Alrighty. Policy review.
We talked through the funding, just
So you
to,
want?
I just like maybe Marcy just to quickly walk us through.
Yes.
Guess that's the important part.
Yeah.
I just, I mean, I kind of think I'm reading it the right way, but it would.
So I updated this just fairly recently. I don't think I updated it since the first, it was actually in September, but it was
Right.
pretty close. So as we kind of talked about, looked at it for a little bit. So essentially where we're kind of looking at is like what we have left over. We don't necessarily have to transfer this 50,000 from loss. We didn't last year because we didn't end up needing it. We were in good shape. This would assume not taking the funds for the trail either. The trail, so maybe we can always try to see what we have left over when we're all done and then look at doing the trail in the spring. By then we'd have a better idea, I think. So essentially kind of what our balances are now, what we estimate for the rest of the year that we'll have coming in, or what we anticipate. Things like that we still expect to come in, expenses. And then any transfers that we already have scheduled. So we had some of these already scheduled for other purposes. Again, we wouldn't have to necessarily, we could say, hey, let's do this with that instead. 100,000, this is the final year, I believe. 2026 for that, and then we can decide what we want to do after that. To kind of give you an idea of what our balance is at the end of the year, what we kind of might want to think about, like leaving a little bit, leave a little bit in there. And then the end year end surplus, what we would have available.
So the 230 is the projected cushion with those assumptions. And then the bottom is the trail. What we'd have left to push toward the trail, or finishing the trail in the spring.
The expenses 1.2, that includes what we had guesstimated for the pavilion as well as the pumpkin, correct?
I think so, it's like numbers way back.
Pretty sure what.
Yeah. I didn't change that, anything with those.
The number in there, he said 850, the number in there is 980. The pursuit, because that was the initial.
The number in the
that he had given us.
1.2, yeah,
Correct.
is 980.
Is
for the
980
pavilion.
for the pavilion, so if he's saying 850, obviously our hope is it still comes in under that, but.
Make it thing.
No, no.
No, we were thinking here,
What about 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it in 980.
Sharpen the pen.
It's easier than that.
So,
Well, you look like we're in pretty good shape then.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're okay. I think the numbers actually looked a little bit better when I updated than when we did it initially.
Great, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Mike.
did 100 grand better.
I know.
No,
The 193, would that include the trail and the parking lot?
Bottom.
that's what I'm saying, no, the in
No.
1.224 includes the pavilion and parking lot, so all the 193 is our perceived left over, which we would have for. I should say. So I don't know how much the parking lot is, but that 980s, is it around 320? 300?
The parking lot?
Yeah,
Oh, we got an estimated quote yet.
So it was a guesstimate, I mean.
Yeah.
so-
There may have been engineering still in there too.
Oh, no, there's engineering, there's architecture fees,
Mhm.
there's definitely,
Contingency.
yeah.
We're in good shape.
We'll probably just
I don't
come back and look at it, see.
C200,
Right,
considering the grading's done.
then we should be fine,
Minor.
because that 1.2 was supposed to be.
I don't know what the lighting would be.
Well, the hope is
And that was in there.
we have other expenses coming
Oh,
up. too. We
parking,
hope
parking lot lighting.
to Get
Yeah.
just golf course finish, want to, or pads for.
Yeah,
The bench, I sold my first bench, by the way, so we have one. bench.
Awesome.
did you?
I don't know, I didn't really do anything, but it's sold. Full disclosure. So yeah, so I think that will help once we get pads in there, get one bench out there to help sell
Visualize.
more, right? Like, yeah.
Anything can be finished in June, we'll still be paying for expenses after that. We can also look at, like the trail, putting it into the next fiscal year budget.
For sure.
Well, we were
Can't
putting
get
that
that.
out
Still having,
today.
yeah, and still having it.
We're gonna put it
Talked
up
to
to
Jay,
bid.
when was the pavilion, or not, pavilion, the parking lot / trail getting put out today?
Even if we put it out the bid in the spring, we still probably won't get it good till the next fiscal year anyway.
Like in fall, yeah.
Well, we'd have a better idea at that point, how much the pavilion came in at.
Right,
Right.
and then we'd be playing with a lot more.
You know what your
Yeah.
bid number is.
Or a lot less. Last half full, last half empty. Hopefully we're dealing with more money, yeah.
I also have a conversation with I'm on Tuesday to discuss them putting in the fiber for a donation. It's, they're estimating it at $9,000 right now. 9.
They don't get their name on the building for kind
No, this is.
No, let's get a lot-
separate.
couple more zeros on it.
Conversation, no. Stacy and I have already discussed this. This conversation is purely putting in the fiber.
of.
We'll have the trenches open, we might as well just put it in at that point.
Right.
And then we'll leave that discussion with the Parks and Stacy to go beat them up for some more money.
So far, he said, we're meeting within that to discuss it further. So we're playing the game.
No, and the game will be made very clear when we start that meeting.
Alright, good. Let's get this wrapped up anyway. Here. Alrighty, policy reviews. Guess I'll start with. You wanna hit the bigger ones first? More
Are
depth
we're
ones?
planning on going through them each individually?
If she wants to put them on the 14th, we need to talk about.
I didn't have a chance to go through, I had a schedule.
Kind of one overarching question I had on the policies is which ones are new and which ones are being amended?
That
It was,
policy and internal controls are new.
okay. Those are the
Everything
only
else
two
is
that are
just a
new.
revamp.
Okay, and then so that for the new policies, they were developed, how and did anybody, you said the auditor reviewed
We
them?
actually started this before we even went with Bergen, KDB.
Well, so the debt policy was new this year.
Yeah.
They asked if we had one, they never asked the year before, and we said, we don't know, and we said, nope, we don't, and then Annette actually did it while they were here, she got,
They reviewed it.
and they reviewed it and said it looked fine. So that's the debt policy,
So auditor reviewed.
Yeah,
yes.
well, the internal policies as well.
And the internal policy is one that we started quite some time ago, and we tweaked it, and it talks more about.
We've talked about it before, that's why it's not.
We have.
Yeah, it's kind of been a work in progress because we've changed how we do different things and have to continue to change as we, look at changing job descriptions or our new system and the way our new computer software works and things like that. But it really talks more so about like the day-to-day kind of how things work, how we do a separation of duties and this person posts the mail, this person verifies the deposit, this person takes the deposit to the banks. And it has, yes, been reviewed by Dustin twice. I had him review it like about a year ago or so, and then he just reviewed it like a week.
We met as staff, went through it
Yes.
page by page and then sent it off to
Yes.
Dustin.
Multiple times we've gone through it as staff. So finally, like, we gotta just get this done. Everything else is like,
Just wanna hit them real
yeah,
quick
we
and
can-
dirty,
yep.
I think would be.
You bet. So a lot of this one, if the changes, I don't have the editable one in here that shows the track changes, but A lot of it was just verbiage, like cell phone and smartphone and kind of adding that. Do you remember anything else off the top of your head?
No, I mean, it's very bare bones.
One question on cell phone one, so it reads that approval for having a cell phone or a smartphone is department director level or administrator. Are you comfortable with that? Do we,
They
my
have to
question
come
would
through us
be,
anyway to order them, so
will
it's,
we have consistency across departments and how each one does it and whatnot, if you're comfortable with that?
And yeah, we don't have that many. I mean,
no, it's
PD,
me,
Mike-
myself and Mike.
Mike, and then the police department has one that they
It's
pass around.
Yeah, it's her.
You got an
Whoever's
phone
on.
too?
Pardon?
You have an on-call phone as well?
Yes,
We have a
yeah,
cell phone
Dina, on-call phone, Annette,
Then
Mike,
you have your,
and
your
PD.
person.
Then everyone
The
else.
city
has
pays
a-
for 4 cell phones.
Right. Then everyone else has.
And
a
then
cell
everyone
phone.
else has an allowance.
Did I read in here like the city phones are only supposed to be for city use versus if they're the way we did it in the business world? So you've got 2.
Right.
You've got 3.
No, I've
No,
got
he has
2
2.
phones.
You have 2. Okay, so that's the way we do it. That was my only question on that one was departmental authority, whether it's city this small, if you want to do it that way for consistency, but if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I am.
So are you, cause yeah, that's, I mean, having one phone for like what we do.
Oh, yeah.
I've got
it's
it,
like-
I've just got the one phone and it's
Yeah.
my work and is that better or worse?
I think it depends on how you look at it. Could be worse because if you're using it for business and you
Then we have the,
summon into court,
It's discoverable.
everything's
Yeah.
discoverable
we have,
on your personal.
But it is anyway, if you get the allowance anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's your personal phone, because it's,
Yeah, but if we're
But it's
getting
your personal
paid our
phone.
monthly and it's our personal phone, it's still discoverable. That's what they were told.
for sure.
So, I mean, it's kind of 6 one, half as another, unless you get 0
I
work.
mean, I'm
it's on your personal
accessing
phone.
Yeah.
city email and text from people on my personal. Coverable. They're part of our city job.
Does it mention anything about dual sims? Like, I feel like as the future comes and as it, whatever.
I don't even know what you said.
Easier.
People send cards, like kind of.
so no. I don't even know what that means.
Sorry, I don't mean to be complicated, I just, so like phones, you can put multiple. Have
You can
my
swap them
personal
out.
cell phone number, it's not swap with phone, so you can have my personal cell phone number. Word number, it comes in, it tells you this is coming from. You know, this is coming from my 608 number, this is coming from my 563 number, so you know which one it's coming through, you just have to carry around 1 instead of carrying around 2. It doesn't apply to me, I'm not gonna have a second phone, I was just curious, future. Feel like it would be a nice thing to be able to have, maybe not, I mean, if you
The
knew
problem I have-
past your phones, you can.
Problem I would have with that, my charge probably wouldn't make it past noon.
Right.
What did you say, Dean?
So
I
you
said my
every
charge would
second.
make it past noon.
Yeah, mine wouldn't either.
So, okay, I just was asking, we keep the way it is and if that.
With what Stacy's explaining.
For me, it's just easier to keep business with business.
Yeah.
Personal with personal.
Yeah, and I don't mind taking, calls from people that I know on my
Right.
personal business related, but I don't want
Generous.
people that are here for a month and then moving out,
Mhm.
having my personal necessarily.
That's fine.
I give up my personal
That's the
number.
I don't give your personal one out to anyone.
Yeah.
That was on your business card.
Like I say, I mean, depending on who it is, if it's somebody we're doing a daily business with, I don't make it easy, but I don't
Yeah,
want
it's a contractor that you know really well, you're comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Just leave it as.
The only other question I have is, it's just related to IT security, so I'm not sure how these things lace together. But in the case of people using personal phones, at least in my experience in my last company, it's kind of like if you're accessing company data on your personal device, company has the right to that data and the system linkages and all that stuff, and they can kind of blow it away or white it out, if things, now I was in healthcare, so there were other laws governing breach and stuff, but it's just whether or not we have any IT security risk by how we're handling the cell phone thing.
Well, I don't think, I cannot access the S drive from my cell phone.
Okay.
I have to do it from my laptop, and there is FortiClient out there that is the multi-factored authentication
So like
process.
any VPNing into, do you
Yeah.
VPN from your personal device? into
No, we
city
don't do
system?
that anymore. We do it straight from the laptop.
We really only have email on there and then
Okay.
apps. Like I'll have like an app and I'll be, oh, I sent you a text message to log into ID me for logging into the IRS. So it'll send me a text on my personal cell phone. I have to put that code in.
Right,
You don't
for
have
the
to-
multi-authentication.
Most of what I use is that or an app or email.
So really, when you're accessing city systems, you're using
The
the
laptop.
laptops and the control systems.
And going through that VPN process for the multi-factor authentication.
Good.
So,
Okay,
Yeah, we only email and
and it's like
that's my
the
question.
managed solutions that we're using now, it is cybersecurity on steroids. I mean, it is, it's
No, it's good. I'm comfortable with the laptops. I know, like, we had people accessing business systems. Trying to do VPN.
yeah, I can't do that, so.
that screen's too small.
We have physicians working on charts and other
Oh, yeah,
things,
sure,
but
yeah.
they're in like super sensitive system. That's why I'm at. That's good. Sounds like we're controlling it.
MSG's fantastic.
They are.
Very happy with them.
So the credit card policy essentially it's mostly this top section that was just updating to kind of say, hey, what do we have for cards? What's issued?
What's the
What are the
limits?
limits on everybody? Like there, again, the names on here were crazy old. So it's really just updating that information.
Was that sorry, I saw Amazon virtual is 5,000 recently. Is that like one-time purchase 5,000 or the max is
That's
5,000?
the limit.
That's the credit.
And we've never
card.
hit that?
No.
I routinely hit.
No, you have to use other credit cards when you.
You got your Sam's. card.
Do you know?
You have to spend it.
No. It's not my limit. It's every single person.
It's
in
the
city's
city's
limits
limit.
together, like.
I mean,
because
our
we all
average
use the
credit
same
card bill in a month is only, like this last month it was
Right.
3,500.
You got your Sam's, you got your Sam's.
For
credit
everything.
thing and-
Oh, yeah, that one.
I mean, they all
Well,
add together, it's a lot, it's a big number.
No, our entire Visa bill is usually never more than $3,000-4,000, so. But if you ever needed to, then you'd have to use one of the other cards, so you have a higher limit on, like you have a big one, so you'd have to go and plug that.
No, I understand all that. I just, for Amazon, we just use the virtual and was surprised that it was only at 5. That's
So
all.
this
Because
one-
I'm pretty sure I've spent over 5 before on Amazon.
Must be hitting the
Yeah.
Cut off in between
cutoff in
months.
between months.
So with this, kind of with the theory of not having to touch this ever again, do we want to wipe out the names and just have them labeled City Hall, City Hall 2?
Sure. Like
That way you're not,
The role,
Yeah.
city clerk,
Yep.
city administrator,
Whatever,
it
yeah.
really goes with the role.
because that way it's not when someone leaves or whatever. we
But the
don't-
credit cards are issued to a person's name, right?
No,
Well, then, yeah, then I go this way,
Sam's is,
then I go this way.
Sam's is, but yeah.
okay, we'll
Agreed.
update that just to have a title,
Yeah.
like.
We'll be doing this every quarter, you know,
Essentially,
Mhm.
that one looks good. Good.
So fiscal performance and review, we kind of stumbled across this one a couple of years ago and said, hey, we should update it. Because it talked about, this was one that was originally from 2019, kind of talking more about like setting funds aside and how much money we should try to have in reserve. So I just kind of took those numbers and kind of talked also to Heidi and things like that to say, you know, how much should we have in reserve in these different accounts? And so that's when we kind of started putting money aside into the fire department building and the police department building and just trying to put some of those funds aside so that we could have that. And so this is really just kind of updating primarily some of those figures and goals to what we would want to have in there. And it's a document that probably would need to change as we grow and things like that.
I mean, I'm not suggesting this for now, but
Mhm.
if we want to insulate it, like the next time we do an iteration, if we can word it in terms of like a percentage of the size of the fund or a percentage of the budget, then it wouldn't be a flat number
Mhm.
that we have to continue to adjust. So maybe our financial advisors can help us with that. That's probably how we got to these. It's like, oh, you should be at 2 or 3%.
Right, and there are state laws that we have to abide by as well, so.
Yeah,
those are
so
gonna
there's a minimum
instantly
number of the
change, yeah.
state law, there's a minimum
Yep.
percentage. Just use percentages in here and then
I touched it.
we're not touching it again.
State
Until the state, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well, but I mean, it's gonna.
we're not intentionally.
It's a live document.
But,
Well, you can say 5% or state
So,
minimum or whatever.
you know, we have,
It's easy enough to change because it's not an ordinance, so it's just a.
right,
a rewrite.
general fund is written that way, balance at 25%. And
Obviously, we don't have to have a resolution, so.
Yep.
Just one swath Tuesday, we can approve them all if everybody's comfortable once we get through the reviews.
There are a few percentages, I think, in some of there.
There's both percent and dollar numbers.
Internal controls we kind of talked about already. Is there anything in
Well,
that?
Yeah, I had a discussion with Dustin, and I haven't studied this policy close enough. His main concerns about our internal control thing and getting the finding on the audit. His main concern is system access, how it's awarded and how many people have how much. So I don't know if that's something that we can just have a side conversation with a subgroup to kind of look at it, understand it. I mean, his comment was multiple staff have access to wide parts of the system to do multiple things. And the system, G-Works or whatever we're
Yeah.
using, doesn't necessarily send things by workflow for a second review or for approval. And so then you've got, you know, you can make the journal entry yourself and nobody sees it, and you can, you know, those kinds of things. Those are the things that I think put us at risk. So, I mean, I'm thinking about the system access thing. Does everybody need access to all sections of the system, or is it something that can be granted to particular roles with like an 80-20 kind of analysis? And then if people are gone, so let's say Marcy has, you know, a wide access, if she's gone for a couple of weeks, then we change somebody else's system access for the period that she's gone. Or just those kinds of things would tighten it up. That's his main concern, and probably my main concern, is how many things people can do all by themselves. Without the system requiring a control. Now, he also raised, are we looking at new software? Are we transitioning to new software? He thought maybe we were, but he said maybe that's another city.
Yeah, we're that.
We're transitioning to a cloud-based software. So I did look into the parameters and how
Yeah, that's-
you can give people different abilities to be able to do different things. And it's like a numbered system, like 1 through 10. And so I contacted them, like,
Right.
what does that mean? So 5 gets you to do A, B, and C, and it seemed like it was pretty complicated. And then once we go to the cloud, which could be in the next 6 months.
How does G-Works? It's the same
Yes, it's still
software,
G-Works, but
or it's a
I-
different version of the software because
it's a cloud-based version.
so it might have more functionality.
It may have more functionality and anything that we set up parameters now is gonna change when we go to that.
Well, then
is what I've told-
I would recommend when we're looking at the system change, we study the system access area. And maybe even have, you know, a subgroup that has a couple council people on it to look at our system access controls and how we're divvying them up and what the system can do for us. Let's ask for the software capabilities
Yeah,
to
and
do
when
more.
I talked to Dustin, I talked to him at length as well before he talked to you, and it seemed like it was more of a, until you get an person, accounts payable department and then, you know, finance department and then this department and then this department, you're not gonna get away from it because one person, he said in a bigger office, one person enters the journal entry and doesn't process it. And then it goes to another person, and that's all they do all day. And then the other person
No, I get it.
approves
We'll-
them,
We'll still
and then the
probably
other
get.
person posts them. So,
Yeah, we're always going to
We'll
get that
probably still get-
segregation.
and we're always gonna, and she reviews everything after we're
I
done.
do.
So it's even,
Everything.
After it's done,
Everything.
yeah. Be nice if the system floated.
yeah. And I don't think that the new G-Work system is gonna flow that.
So my comment again is, it's not that we're doing anything wrong, and I really am more focused on protecting our staff than anything else.
Right. Yeah.
The concept of wide open system access for multiple roles where people can do things independently without manual review is not the same as if the system catches it and flows it to somebody. It's not the same because you can change your own numbers and then you take it to somebody to look at and it's like, yeah, those numbers look fine. That's the concern. So we'll still probably get the finding, but there's degrees of risk within the finding. So again, he said that all the wide open system access should be our main concern. And then probably the system capabilities with a small staff being able to flow things different places. So I mean, I really at the appropriate time, and maybe it's when we move to the new software, I think we should study that and we should try to tighten up how we do it, even if we still get the fund.
Yeah,
No.
and that's what we talked about too. When I talked about to them, I said, should we look at doing this now? Or, cause we were looking at going to the software and it was gonna be October. And then I was like, no, we're
I
not doing
agree.
it. I said, I'm not doing it until
System change.
January because I'm not gonna deal with year end and
Do it twice,
W-2s and
three
all
times.
that.
I agree.
And so it's just a process and it's a new program for them. Front desk was kind of the first step and then the G-Works payments was the second step. And I'm talking to a lot of different clerks all over the state and different people to get feedback on, are they ready? Is the software really ready? Cause
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deal with a lot of headaches. So at first it was, everybody has to go to the cloud by the end of this year. And now they're like, well, we're not pushing anybody. So now they've kind of there's still a lot of kinks and I'm like, I don't wanna go through kinks. I don't wanna not be able to do bank reconciliation for 6 months or have this issue with utility billing or have this issue. So there's a lot of things that they're working on. So it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. And that's kind of what I talked to them about is these parameters and how to set those up on our current system. And they suggested, waiting until, but it could be done sooner if we wanted it.
The only
to.
other thing that Dustin and I talked about was bank reconciliation, whether you could either revise or it could be handled by different people. at
And we've
different
talked about that,
times,
so.
like rotating it.
Yep.
So I mean, there's you, there's the clerk, there's the assistant clerk. I don't know, you probably do it now. I don't know who does it, but that would be something like if it rotated on a quarterly basis or something like that. I don't know how tedious it is, or 6 months, something,
We've even
Large
thought about bringing in
at
counsel to
time.
do it.
Yeah.
So that way,
yeah.
it's out of our hands, it's with who's ever doing claims. And rotating it in and out. So that way you have a better understanding of the flow of what's coming in, what's going out.
The claims reviews are enough already.
Well. okay, Greg.
But yeah, it's just having different eyes at different times doing the same thing. That's where we're gonna get a level of protection that we might
Nope,
not
we
have.
couldn't agree with you more, but it's.
Yeah, and she does review those too, but I'm, it's also something that I can bring, as part of the claims process. If you're not actually physically coming in and doing it on the computer system, is that I can go through and I can process it and I can hand you, here's the bank reconciliation of everything that I reconciled on the system and everything that was on the bank statements. All that is available on the S drive anytime. Cause that's where
Maybe
I,
that's
counsel
a-
can review
that's a
and because
piece
she
that we add to
reviews,
council review.
yes, so I could certainly print those or have those, well, them, cause I'm anti-paper, but
Yeah,
I can send them to you electronically for you to review, just like with the first set of claims in the month, so.
And we
So
can start
next
doing
week,
that now.
So I can start doing that next week for you.
Yeah, all right, well, maybe I'll come in and we'll do it together, right?
I've already done bank rec, I finished it today, but I have the documents, so yes, we can go through documents anytime.
Or do you have claims review next week?
I do.
Okay.
I have it for the
Yeah.
next couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think that's a perfect
I'll
time.
be leaving early on Tuesday and then I'll be gone the rest of the week, but I will have your claims and everything in the bank rec to you. Documentation to you before that, hopefully Friday.
And if anybody's open to going to take the deposits to the bank and pick the mail up, that'd be great too.
Yeah, I read what we have drafted in the internal control policy. That stuff looks pretty good.
Yeah.
One person does the
Yeah.
collection, somebody else is putting in the deposit slip, somebody else is taking it to the bank.
Yeah.
We're okay
Yeah.
on that stuff. Otherwise, I'd nominate Justin.
Until January.
I want a police escort if I do that.
But yeah, I appreciate it. And it's something that's always happening. In fact, I think one of the responses that I got when I asked the clerks was, actually, somebody on my council is an auditor for the state of Iowa, and he said, you're never. So,
No, I think we'll still get our
Yeah.
finding, so don't hear
Yeah.
me say that.
oh
I
yeah,
just-
but I get what you're coming to,
Within the finding, the level.
Yeah.
These areas, we could
Yep.
probably do
and
that.
I'm fine with that. Whatever, I wanna make sure that, I feel comfortable, cause I know that I'm not doing anything wrong, but I want everyone else to feel
No.
that sense of comfort too. And so when you ask me questions, I'm like, yeah, come on, find something, let's go, ask away. I'm fine with that. So, all right, so the investment policy, I don't really think there were really anything that really had changed in there.
There was a title in there that said the treasurer of the city. Again, capitalized term.
Actually, that's in our ordinance. So we have to
Okay,
be
so
very careful
Is it-
about
is
how
it in our
we.
ordinance who that is?
That's me.
Is it you?
It's
So
her.
it's defined in the ordinance that treasurer. of
It
the
doesn't
city-
say the clerk is treasurer, it just says treasurer.
Okay, as long as that, we understand what that is, that's obvious to find.
Okay.
Okay, and then the last one's that purchasing policy.
I have a question on that, is if the 5K limit is too low?
Yeah.
You know, for some of what these guys in particular have to get done.
But I think it says in there too, unless it's on an
Emergency.
unbudgeted item.
Well,
you know.
yeah,
So which piece,
I'm trying to open it.
Okay.
This iPad
Right
has a lot
there.
of trouble with.
A,
it's right there.
is that it? A at the contract?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go down, next page.
No, it was a.
Purchase 5,000 right there or more, that one.
If it is an unbudgeted obligation.
Okay,
So Mike, for instance, had his cameras and those were budgeted at $12,000.
yeah,
It was a budgeted item.
unbudgeted 5 and then it goes up for review.
Right, and that 5, my level's at 7,500, actually is at 10, but anything over 7,500, I bring to council.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm thinking, you know, we're a growing city, that might be a low number that the review has to go to the city council. At
Have we ever
$5,000
did it?
unbudgeted, huh?
At 5,000,
Yeah, is that what we've always done?
actually it was
No,
higher.
you used to have a higher, you used to have a higher.
Yeah, it's higher than that, and we.
I think it was 200,000 is what we had.
Prepare on
I know,
$5,000.
The prior administrator had 20,000 for a limit.
what was the background when we cranked it down? I'm just like, I don't wanna hamstring
Prior
our
council.
ability to. I don't wanna hamstring our ability for our city staff to take responsibility for the things they have and get
Well,
stuff done.
What happened in the past was, it was higher, I don't know, if you say it was 20,000, it was 20,000, it was a higher amount. I know, and the theory on it was, you still have to hit your budget, right? So you can't just go. But to be candid, I think there was a couple of council members that were. I don't know what the right words to use here, we'll just say,
Fiscally.
sure, we'll go fiscally sound.
It's
But I think,
concerned.
well, yeah, and I think they wanted to lower it, and we did.
Has it been a problem?
But we
You guys
also
out
had,
there
if
with
it's
it?
budgeted, it was never brought no matter what.
Right, and
So
now
if
we
I
do.
had a $50,000, $100,000 budgeted item
No.
and it was budgeted, we didn't have to come to council at all, and that is switched. So I feel like some of that was within, so they had 20,000, but if it wasn't budgeted. Had to come, does that make
I
sense?
think the
Like,
council wanted more oversight of what the money was being spent on.
One point we
Like,
wanted.
it might, could have been in the budget, but
Yeah, and so the fact that we're doing good fiscal planning and a lot of things are in our.
And I
It's
think we
probably
do a
not-
fantastic job, even if it's outside that limit, then we're always coming to you, asking you ahead of time. You know, letting you know if this is something, you know, will you approve it, so that we can move it to,
So there was a change in theory.
Yes.
At one point, it was, the theory is, you guys all have budgets to make. You know, we don't, we just wanna know, anything in the budget, we wanna know about it.
Yep.
If you don't kid your budget, well, then we're gonna have other conversations.
Right.
And then it went back to,
Mhm.
people wanted more control. And that's where we're at right now.
and I think we do a fantastic job of controlling it. We bring even the budgeted items back to you.
Yeah,
pass it by
which I think is good practice.
I
for
think
those
we're
larger
transparent.
budgets, because cash flow things can change through the year. We had a plan, we were gonna do this, but now something else is.
That's
happening in the city.
transparency too, to show that we are spending,
Exactly.
that we, you know, we
I
are
think that's
adhering to
good.
the budget.
have we ever had an issue with the $5,000?
That's what I'm asking, if it's not been a speed bump that's been hard for us to do what we need to do.
I don't
Have you ever been like, oh, well,
think there's ever been an issue.
what
I mean,
is, so
it's
ours
gotta
is
come to
5
this
and
list.
yours is 7,500? I thought mine was 1,000 and yours was.
No,
1,000.
yours is 1,000. I think that 5,000. Any,
That's $12,500.
Any contract that's like a service area or whatever, that's.
And you've done that
unbudgeted.
before, and you've split them up before.
yeah, and we have.
Yes, but it
That's all I'm
specifically
reading.
says in the policy, you're not supposed to do that.
I personally think we should sit on this one
Mhm.
and have a deeper conversation with all council members and mayor here.
Okay, so put it for the November.
I
work
just,
session.
cause we're having,
Yeah, and
You
then
didn't
we
even know
can
you used this.
read it a little bit more in
Yeah,
depth.
everybody can-
Really,
And we know what our close to, I thought mine was always 1,000, my max.
And it
was,
is.
And then I go to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I
what.
mean, I think there might be,
I'm sorry, yeah.
I think there would just be more
and they're different categories.
conversation.
Okay, so we'll push this one to the November. work
Entering and
session.
service.
Because I think there needs to figure out what our theory is.
I think there'd be a
Get more-
bigger chance to look it over.
Right, and give more leash, right, and then, but you're responsible for your budget,
We can just talk about this next Wednesday at our department head meeting.
right?
There's a lot in there.
Sure.
Come back with some good info.
Otherwise, all right, otherwise that was easy.
And then, yeah, there's a form at the end, which was already there. I didn't create it brand new. It's
Yeah, yeah.
For the other bids, so this will be helpful for when they're saying, hey, yes, I did get a hold of two other people or one other
Multiple
person,
bidders.
multiple bidders, and here's, you know, why, so.
I did like the language and it says whenever practical, so purchase expected to exceed 10,000 minimum of 3 prospective bidders. We've had a couple instances where we can't get 3 bids,
Right.
so that's good. I think that gives us 3 is good.
I think your dumbbells cool. Were they
They're there?
significantly cheaper? I don't.
Oh, they're astronomically cheaper. We actually got a new rower
I
and,
saw that.
and bike that's not out yet. For under what the other dumbbells were. So,
Nobody heard my.
so far, good reviews, and we sold all the other ones already, so.
Elsewhere, and I go, they're terribly cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so far so good. I haven't heard
China
any
with
people like
love?
us.
Yeah,
From what you
I
heard.
used them today. There's still a goofy difference in one dumbbell and the other.
Really?
Go grab the 50 pound hips.
I did.
Then
You gotta
the
be kidding me.
25.
Dumbbell workout.
They're different. The handles are different.
Really?
I'm tired.
They came in 2 separerate boxes, so that makes sense.
2 hours.
No.
Huh.
Maybe I have to combine between the 4, maybe there's 2 or something. It's fine. I was just.
4 to 3.
The guy that bought them, I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Watch it. That's all right, I'll watch it.
Now we're watching like with joy.